Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Louise from The Dusty Jacket. A silverback and a baby elephant. A little red hen and a big black dog. 3 boys sharing a room in a group home. A raccoon and a young boy. A freak and a kicker. Confused?
I guess you could say that.
Well, keep watching while we review 5 books with unlikely friendships. Let's get started. Our first book is The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate, which I rated 5 out of 5 stars and has a recommended reading age of 8 to 12. Ivan is known by many names that humans have given him. The freeway gorilla, the ape at exit 8, mighty silverback, and the one and only Ivan.
I go by many names.
But Ivan isn't any of those. He's just Ivan, who spends his days at the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, drawing pictures that sell for $20 in the gift shop, until a baby elephant named Ruby arrives. After a promise he made to a friend, it's Ivan's job to keep Ruby safe, no matter what.
Look, I made a promise, so I have to keep it.
This story was inspired by a real gorilla named Ivan, who spent almost 3 decades in a circus-themed mall in Washington State before his eventual relocation to Zoo Atlanta. In this heartwarming and touching story, Applegate gives us a hero who is kind, strong, and loyal despite being 400 pounds of pure power.
So tough!
This book has so many valuable lessons. The honor of keeping your word, the importance of finding your inner strength, and that you don't have to have much in common with someone in order to extend a bit of comfort and hope. Book number 2 is Along Came a Dog by Maynard DeYoung, which I rated 4 out of 5 stars and has a recommended reading age of 8 to 12. The little red hen was having a rather splendid day in the barnyard until the big black dog appeared.
Hey, look who showed up.
After all, it was a pack of dogs that killed all of the hens in her flock except her. But no matter how determined the farmer was to get rid of the dog was more determined to stay, for he had decided that nothing would separate him from his newly found home.
I want to stay here forever!
DeYoung's book reads almost like a fairy tale, but the actions and emotions of the animals are true to their nature. DeYoung gives us an accurate portrayal of farm life in all its splendor and savagery, and the reader soon understands that life in the barnyard is hard and unfair.
That's something you can't unsee.
Thankfully, the author is mindful of the age of his intended reader, so he makes sure that bad is always followed by good, and those possessing purity of heart and deed are eventually rewarded. Also, the story does seem to lag just a bit near the middle, but readers who plow through will be rewarded with a nice ending. This is a story of duty, loyalty, and an overwhelming desire to belong. And on that spring day, a hen with broken feet and a dog with an unbroken spirit found each other. And so it was a rather splendid day after all. Book number 3 is We Were Here by Matt de la Peña, which I rated 5 out of 5 stars and has a recommended reading age of 14 to 17. Miguel Castañeda had a plan for getting through his 1-year sentence in a group home. Write in his journal, keep to himself, pretend to call his mom every Sunday, and read every book on the home's bookshelves. That plan changed when he was assigned to share his room with Rondell, a big black kid that was once his cellmate in juvie, and Mong, a skinny, tough, and silent Chinese dude with scars on his cheeks and a psycho smile.
Who are these people?
Suddenly, a year seemed a whole lot longer, and then one night Mong asked Miguel to escape with him to Mexico. Maybe this is the clean start Miguel was hoping for. This book is gritty, candid, bleak, and insightful. It shows us the devastating effects that personal tragedy or one wrong decision can lead to through a group of kids who are more than the sum of their parts and just need a second chance.
I guess everyone deserves a second chance.
The characters are realistically portrayed, and De La Peña avoids making them ethnic caricatures by giving them depth, warmth, a deep vulnerability, and an underlying desire to make honorable and decent choices. Narrated by Miguel through a series of personal journal entries, the story demonstrates just how far the bands of friendship can be stretched without breaking, and the value of choosing loyalty over personal desire. At number 4 is Rascal by Sterling North, which I rated 5 out of 5 stars and has a recommended reading age of 8 to 12. One pleasant afternoon in 1918, 11-year-old Sterling was in the woods with his dog Wowzer and friend Oscar. There they discovered a mother raccoon and her litter of 4 kits hiding in the hollow base of a rotten stump. Angered and frightened, the mother and kits dart to safety, but not before Oscar managed to catch one of the kits. On that day, a very unusual and special friendship would begin, and the next 12 months would be a year that young Sterling would never forget.
And we'll be best friends forever.
Rascal is North's memories of growing up in southern Wisconsin from May 1918 to April 1919. It would be a time marked with his brother Herschel serving in World War I, Armistice Day, and the Spanish influenza. It was a time when front doors were never locked, neighbors looked after one another, and family and good health were your most prized possessions. This book is a clear reflection of the awe and respect that North has for the world around him. His appreciation for Mother Nature directly connects him with his own mother that he barely had time to know. He sees his mother in every bud and hears her voice with every new discovery, and those scenes are truly heartwarming and comforting. Last is Freak the Mighty by Rodman Philbrick, which I rated 4 out of 5 stars and has a recommended reading age of 10 to 14. They were known as Freak and Kicker. Kevin Avery and Maxwell Cain had known each other since daycare, and you'd think that given Kevin's abnormal smallness, he would have been a pretty kickable target for Kicker.
I did it! I finally kicked that football!
But maybe it was Kevin's crutches, or perhaps it was the shiny braces holding up his crooked legs. Whatever it was, he quickly captured Maxwell's imagination, and possibly his respect. When Kevin suddenly re-enters Maxwell's life during the summer before 8th grade, the two form an unlikely friendship. Separately, they are Midget and Butthead, but together they're Freak the Mighty, and soon everyone would realize that you can't always judge a book by its cover.
So let's not judge a book by its cover.
Philbrick gives us a story of friendship, acceptance, and courage. Told from Maxwell's point of view, Freak the Mighty shows us how two fractured halves can come together to form one implausible and wonderful whole. Through Kevin, Maxwell begins to realize his academic potential and starts to free himself from past ties that hold him back. In turn, Maxwell gives Kevin the ability to look for castles, hunt for buried treasure, and realize his dream of having a seat at the round table. I enjoyed this book, and while it is an easy and fast read, I would recommend a reading age of 6th grade and up given the many instances of violence and disturbing behavior throughout the book, not to mention that Maxwell's father is far from Father of the Year material.
You got a problem with that?
And while the themes of anti-bullying and pro-acceptance are important, there are more age-appropriate options available for younger readers, such as R.J. Palacios' Wonder. Still, this book is a wonderful read that proves that opposites not only attract, but they also bond in the most unusual and wonderful way. Well, that's it. We'll include a link to our Goodreads page in the comments section if you want to read the full review of any of these books. And if you enjoyed this video, please click on the like and subscribe buttons and make sure to hit the bell so that you're notified when new videos become available. As always, thanks for watching, and I look forward to bringing back some old titles so that you can make new memories, because any time is a good time to dust off a new favorite. Keep reading!